222. What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up.
What is going on? What is going on? As I try to eat, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland. It is a Thursday. It is a Tech Thursday, and I'm here. Strangely enough, I'm actually here. I know it's hard to believe because it feels like I'm never on anymore. I feel like I'm never on anymore. But, hey man, life gets in the way, right? So I was supposed to start this thing at about, let me make sure my audio is okay. So I was supposed to start this show at 10 a.m., but literally, I went to bed last night. It was a long day from the show that I was DJing for. I didn't get home until super late, and I didn't get my fat burger like I really wanted to. I was kind of pissed off about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really annoyed. I literally just missed like every single fat burger shutting down. I really wanted a fat burger. It happens, all right? It happens. Wake up in Cleveland. It is Thursday, which means Tech Thursday. So, you guys know what you got to do. If you have any questions, hit the hashtag ask, and then we'll get this ball rolling. A couple of shout outs to some of my people. Who do we got out there? We got John P in the building. We got DJ T Diesel. Those are my mods. So welcome out my mods. Steven Martinez. Thanks for hanging out today. DJ Reaper. What is going on? Yeah, this is facts. This is absolutely facts. Ooh, I do not like this theme. Okay, let's modify this theme because this looks like crap. I mean, I'm sure to some people they love it. I probably shouldn't say it just like that, but let's that's better. That font is horrible. Let's go to something a little more. Let's try this one. That's better. Okay. Sorry. You have unsaved changes. Apply. Apply. Okay. That's a little better. So back to what I was saying before. Sorry, I was so rudely interrupted by Melon. I think that's Gerald Dean in the building. TJ Bangkot used Comic Sans. No. Not at all. Who else we got in the building here? We got, going back up, a lot of John P. A lot of John P. A lot of John P. I see people on the count, but I have no idea. I have a lot of John P. Okay. DJ Queso in the building after 30 John P's. Okay. Well, you guys know what to do. Apparently John P knows what to do. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you put an ask before, I probably already missed it. So if I didn't respond to it, just throw it back in the chat. Okay. DJ Tech Jitsu. That's kind of a cool name. Although it might be a little hard to kind of tell people. Like, hi, I'm Brad. Hi, I'm Tech Jitsu. It's a little, but it's cool though. Okay, Tech Jitsu says, are there any other better skins for the Rain 1? These adhesive skins are meh. They're all adhesive skins, unfortunately. So you're going to have to kind of deal with that. There might be better manufacturers. I mean, what is there, 12-inch skins? God. There's like one more, but those are kind of the two mainstays. What's going on with them? Are they is it popping up? Is it wearing? Is it like are you getting some crap on the fader? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Via Park Sniper in the building. Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for hanging out. You guys know what to do. Hit that ask button. I'm trying to be smooth and eat as I throw on my transition. I'm trying to be smooth here. So. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I got to get my numbers up, so those bots are going to come in handy. Appreciate that. Okay. While we're waiting on questions, because I know people get a little gun shy in the beginning. So yesterday, the reason why I'm late to the show is because I DJ'd for the Masked Singer. So not the, there are different levels of Masked Singer. Obviously, I can't tell you about any of this stuff, but production is very, very different. There's a lot of things that are pre-planned. So I'm playing for crowd as they come in. I'm playing for crowd basically on commercials. Anytime they have to set up for the next acts, which sometimes can be very, very elaborate. So I'm doing all of those things for a long, long time. Every show is different. This show films one episode a day, and it's a long day. Like, my call time is 1:30. We didn't even get started until like 4:30. So it can be a super, super long day. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little out of it. But that's just me. Okay. Kevin John asks, I have been told that the Pioneer SRT 1000 has to have drivers loaded every time before you use this. Any idea and why? That's not true. Once you've put the drivers in, you're set. So whomever is having that problem, there's something bigger going on. Yesterday, I used an SRT. It wasn't my SRT. It was my partner's, but he left all his gear when he went on vacation. So I just came in and plugged in. Never have an issue. Never. So that is definitely something else going on. DJ Reaper says, I basically just bought the Rain 70. Is it worth the upgrading to the 8-track one? I mean, if you like the color, if you like some of the additional features that they've put on it, you know, you know what? I'm going to say it's mostly for color. Because I have a feeling that anything that they put in, you know, it looks like they have... basically, it looks like they just kind of customized some of their effects settings. So, for instance, like ducking echo. Perfect example. If you've watched any of 8-Track's stuff, you see him drop the up fader down, and then it gives an echo. That's ducking echo. Ducking echo is a part of the Rain 70. So I'm not so sure exactly what is customized per se. Well, not customized. What is like hardware enabled versus what is just customized as a default. So, but it's a pretty mixer. The knobs are a really nice touch. I love those knobs on there. It's a good looking mixer. But the Rain 70 is pretty much the same. You know, just a facelift. I actually messaged Mojax because he did a review on it, and which you should probably take a look at because his review is going to be very thorough and going to break it down. I asked him. I said, "Look, you know, they didn't send me one. Should I ask for one to review?" And he's like, "Your Rain 70 is extremely comprehensive. Your review, I wouldn't worry about it." so that tells me that it's probably very similar. Mixmaster G now in the building. What is going on? What is going on? All right, let me see. Okay, I'm trying to get back up here. Okay. Okay, Steve MCC asks, would you play explicit lyrics for a teen party with no adults? I guess it depends on the teen party. I mean, it's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I typically default to clean music. I've had events where I've been playing clean music, and then I've had parents, you know, older, you know, they're like 16 years old, whatever, 17, and their mom says, hey, you can go ahead and play the dirty versions. I'm in the backyard. That's what they want to hear. Play it for them. And even then, I will pick and choose what songs I play that are dirty. Because there are some songs out there that aren't just dirty, but like nasty. And, you know, there are limits to what I will play, but I just pick and choose, you know. But if a song is really too explicit, I tend to still play the clean version, and I just kind of pick and choose. That's all. As far as I know, key lock on older DJ gear is rare. I found out that my old Numark TTXs actually have a key lock. As a vinyl only DJ, can I use key lock on the Numarks to learn key? How can I learn key if I'm mixing vinyl only? That's a good question. I'm going to say something contradictory. I never learned how to mix in key. Okay. I know that's the popular thing nowadays, mixing key. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, I got my things and I mix for... I don't mix in key. Now, to say I don't mix in key doesn't mean I don't mix in key. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm a musician, producer, so I do all these things, so I kind of understand and I know my music, so I know what sounds good together. I've just never focused on mixing in key. It's just... Sometimes I feel like if you're limiting yourself to mixing in key, you limit the music that you can choose to play. Because there are definitely easy ways to play two songs that aren't in the same key. Like, there are easy ways to do this. You know, removing the bass line out of the track, waiting for drop-offs, waiting for, you know, verses to kick into a cappella. There's a lot of different ways to do this to where I'm not just like locked into, oh God, this song doesn't work with this song, so I'm not going to play it. It's not how I work. Just get a little more creative. Let's see here. DJ Immaculate says, I have Rekordbox 1000. I have to redo the drivers too. It only happens since upgrading to Big Sur. Can't talk about Big Sur because I haven't updated to Big Sur. Because as a DJ, there's no reason for any DJ in here, anywhere, to be on Big Sur. There is absolutely no reason. So, if you want to avoid issues, stay away from Big Sur. I'm still on, I think I'm on Catalina. I think I might be 2 operating systems down right now. The rule of thumb is, yeah, I'm on Catalina, is as a DJ, as, you know, guy, musician, who's using like Pro Tools, any of those things, rule of thumb is you typically want to be 1 full operating system behind. So I'm on Catalina. There's 1 more technically that I could upgrade to before, what is it, August? No, I'm on Catalina. That's the one you should be on because Big Sur is right now. And then next month, they will release the brand new Mac operating system, you know, in September. Not next month, September, October. So at that point, you know, upgrading to Big Sur might be something I'll choose to do. But right now, if it ain't broke, and there's nothing that Big Sur offers that I needed in order to continue to DJ or to do anything. In all honesty, I've been just fine. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get a little more current here. Okay. Where did it go? DJ Bankai says, is it normal for S9 to have static noise at the aux port when you connect a DDJ output to it? Okay. It's not normal, but on the S9, it's normal. As far as flaws on mixers are concerned, the S9 actually had a really, really glaring flaw. But it's only for people that actually use them a lot. And, you know, no. The RCAs are just poorly... They're just poor RCAs. So the aux is the first thing to go on your S9. Typically followed... There's 3 things that typically fail. Your auxes, your RCAs for your channels tend to do a little better, and you might have problems with XLRs. Those are the 3, but really 2. Then, you know, obviously you have the fader scratching on the front panel of the S9. So those are the 3 big things that typically happen. You just have to be prepared for it. But if it's cracking, chances are you're going to end up losing one of your channels on your auxiliary input, and you're going to have to get it replaced. Like, for the longest time, I just stopped using my auxiliary and I plugged it into the line faders, and that worked until my XLRs died. And when I say they died, the XLR output was different on both sides. So, like, the left might be at 100%, but then the right was strangely at like 40%. So I had to get that replaced. So it's not normal, but it's normal. DJ Charlie Darker in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Okay. DJ Paul says, do you think Pioneer DJ will come out with their version of the Rain 12? I think it depends on how well Pioneer perceives the Rain 12 being. You know, if look, all these people are constantly working on products that either may or may not ever come out. You know, and when you see something like a Rain 12, you ask yourself, is it possible Pioneer's making one? Yes, it's definitely possible. You know, but we'll have to see. I'm on NDA with Pioneer, So I could not say, confirm, nor deny if anything is happening. But I would say, just from a business perspective, it makes sense. If something's doing well, that you take a serious look at it and see if you wanna compete. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm just missing stuff. Cold Cut says, "What do you think of the sound output level of the Rain One? Does it require a mixer for a bigger system?" I'm currently using the Rain One every weekend. Haven't had an issue with sound output. Um, Typically speaking, Rain has excellent output, just excellent, and this one is no different. Okay. Kings fan 2099 in the building. What's going on? Uh, uh, DJ Booter says I usually mix and key depending on what genre I'm in. I don't know that should change how you use mix and key, in my opinion. But whatever works for you. Look, I am never telling anybody what to play, how to play, what to do. Well, I am. I will tell you, but everything that I tell you is based upon my views on it, my experience. That doesn't mean that it's the only way. It's the way that works for me. I also know that I'm an anomaly. As I've told people before, I DJ, I'm more old school in the way because I learned old school. So, like, I don't do I have my playlist, but I'm constantly sparking a song in my head, which I'll search for, pull it up, and go from there. Like, I don't just do the whole, if it's not in this folder type thing, I don't play it. The same thing applies to mix and key. I think the creativity is potentially lost if that's the case, because there's no song out there. In all honesty, this is facts. I believe that stems are literally going to revolutionize the need for mixed in key, because if I'm rocking like Algorithm DJ or Virtual DJ, one of those two, it doesn't get much easier than just literally removing the bass instrument from the mix. Like, the moment you do that, typically speaking, unless it's like a sing song, you've pretty much gotten rid of the need for mixed in key. And especially if it's rap music, then you're golden. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. Okay. DJ Lou Diamond's in the building. Looks like the questions are coming in now, so I am back here. Okay. DJ Reaper says, yeah, I'm more of a BPM guy. Yeah, exactly. BPM definitely is, if you're going to sort by anything, I would definitely sort by BPM. It just makes more sense mentally. Okay. Steven Martinez says, does Catalina working good with Rain 12s with Pioneer S7 mixer? It's been working just fine for a long, long time. I would say that the Rain 12s had an issue when the S11 came out, because it was a driver compatibility issue, and it was only with the Pioneer mixer. So by the time the S7 came out, it was fine. Listen to Mixmaster. He knows. He knows. Okay. Let's see here. You guys know what to do, though. Hit the ask if you have any questions. Yeah. The one thing that happens now, if you're using iTunes, is that the iTunes box pops up on the bottom right hand corner, which is annoying to me. Every time I see it, I think something's broken for a minute, and then it gets better again. But yeah, that's the only thing that gets in the way now. Steve MCC asks, how often do you replace your XLR cables? On all honesty, I replace them typically when I get new ones. So like, oh, you know what? I mean, I'm a big fan of. I hate having to connect multiple XLRs. That drives me nuts. Nothing wrong with it, but I hate that. Why do with two cables what you can do in one? So I typically will buy, twice the size of the cable. I try to buy the cable as long as it is for me to have like my system at a reasonable distance where it's normal that it's going to be in that position, but every so often, it might be more compressed. It might be a little longer. So I like to buy my XLRs that way. Yeah, I don't replace them until they need to be replaced. And if you can typically see, like for instance, if they're not going in because maybe the inputs are bent a little bit, which you can unbend. If you're starting to get a little distortion or static, XLRs are pretty resilient. If you're seeing some of your cables fraying, all those things, that's the only time I replace my XLRs. But XLRs are built pretty well, unless you buy really, really cheap XLRs, which I know some people do. Okay, let's see here. M2, MacBook M2 chipsets will be out later this fall. Thoughts on waiting to upgrade on the M2 chips? Okay. Here are the facts about M1, M2. I think what's going on is we're looking at clever marketing by Apple. Okay. Their chips are very, very good, which are on basically the phone technology. That's where the chips are coming from. All the chips they've been designing for their phones are now porting over to their Macs. So, before the M1 came out, I can't. There was the I think it was like A12 Bionic or A13. Then they moved to the M1. So people were like, ooh, the new M1, this is amazing, But here are the facts. It's just a chip evolution. So the M1 and the A12 or the A13 are pretty similar in output, okay? They're all good. The whole argument between the iPad and the iPhone is they kept putting in all these humongous chips, these like high performance chips, great for battery life, but you never use the power. So I have an M1 iPad Pro, and I'm never gonna use the M1 power for the iPad. So what I'm saying is the difference between the M1 and the M2 is probably not going to be that significant. I mean, I think what's going to end up happening is the M1, I know they're going to a smaller die set, so you're going to see some performance there, but you're also going to see more cores. That's the difference. So if the maximum here is a 10 core, maybe the M2 does 12 core or 16 core. I think the maximum is 10 core. It might be 12 core, but you get what I'm saying. So it's going to be cores. That's going to be the most important thing. But waiting for the M1 versus the M2, I don't know that you'll see a humongous increase. The only difference between the M1 and the M2 for me is that the M2 is likely going to end up going into the MacBook Pro 16s and 14s. So if you're waiting on that, then you don't have a choice because there's no M1s in the MacBook 16, MacBook 14. You get it? So if you're waiting on that machine, then you're going to have to wait regardless. KMT, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. DJ Dam, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you for helping out. Okay. I got to go back up. If I missed anything, feel free to throw the question back in. See, I think I know what happens. I have this fan blowing on like super high. And I think it's what's causing me to feel like I need to sneeze. Because I wake up and I run in here. Literally wake up and run in here. That's how dedicated I am to you guys. Wake up and run. You guys know what to do? Okay. Max PL says, I tried ADJ for the first time the other day just to test the stems feature, and it left me stunned how well it works. I'm assuming, that's probably, I mean, it could be algorithm VJ, it could be VDJ. Yeah, so for certain songs, okay, so you can always use stems. What I have found is that certain songs, it's not a good idea to suck all the life out of them. Like, phone is ringing off the hook. For instance, like, I'm just going to go into acapella. If you go into acapella, that's where you start to see a lot of the issues, if there are any issues with the song, with the stems process. But I have found when that happens, like say for instance you go a cappella and then you all of a sudden you try to go a cappella and it just starts just sounding like bad radio, like terrestrial radio. Add the drums back. You add the drums back, and typically it brings back the sound, the integrity of the music. It's usually just the bass line that tends to screw it up, is what I've found. But because it takes up so much frequency within the song, that by doing that, you're risking. So, but if you leave the drums on, I think you're always a little better. Okay. Always amazed by DJs that just think of songs. Yeah, everybody's different. My partner is like playlist guy. I am. I do playlists, but more importantly, like when I play a song, there are 4 other songs that are in my head at the same time. So everybody's different, but that's just the way I learn. I think if you come from, well, you know what? That's not even true. I'm not going to go there. Okay. Spin Junkie says, read the room. Agreed. Yeah, T Diesel. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. Just for me, I've honestly found that mixed in key is never my problem. With trying to find music that goes well together, it's trying to find music that goes well together. Like not seeing because your tags are crap, or it's not in a playlist, or it's just somewhere hidden deep inside of your music folder. That's my biggest problem. Like when I've been going through trying to clean up my iTunes, finding things like, oh my God, I had no idea I had this song. Turn on the smart playlist and then say, give me all the music from 95 that's hip hop, that's this, and then finding all this music that I didn't know that I even had. That's the most important part to me. Not so much mixed in key. Okay. Let's see. DJ Tech Jitsu says, has the streaming DJ trend reached its end, or is there a chance for a second wave with Delta? There better not be a second wave with Delta. Okay. I think if that's the case, you're probably going to see a lot more DJs no longer DJing. So I hope that we don't go back into another full shutdown. I think it's going to literally kill. Audio One with the subscription. Thanks, fam. I didn't even see you in here. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you guys are following all these people, by the way. DJ Dam, Audio One. Glad to have Audio One back on the decks. So we all appreciate Audio One. But yes, so second wave, yeah, I think it's gonna just destroy the industry. Not so much that it can't recover, but I think a lot of people that were like, oh man, I hope we, I can't see myself taking another. Like if we have another shutdown for me, and then it dies, and we're shut down for another 3 to 6 months, I will 100% start to look at different opportunities. Because I can't live a life without work, if that makes sense. So I would definitely have to take a good solid look. Look, we're getting people right now to this day where when the mask mandate for LA, the mask mandate is only in LA. So Ventura County, San Diego, Orange County, no mask mandate. LA instituted it. Boom Bap Kids in the building. What's going on, peeps? Good to see you. Good to see you. So when the mask mandate kicked in again, I'm having clients right now say to me, "Oh, you know what? Because of the masks, I don't think we don't want to do the party because it'll change things." And I'm just sitting there like, the masks were never the issue for parties. The issue was the allowable amount of people that are allowed in the building. That was the reason that people were canceling. Oh, you know what? We have our guest list was 200, but they tell me I can only have 30 people in a room. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, that makes sense. But when people are like, oh, I have to be slightly put off. Now I'm like, okay, now you're just being an ass. Now you're just being difficult. So from what I've done in the first quarantine, all bets were off. If somebody's like, hey, you know what, we're not having our event, we want to cancel, we want to postpone, especially canceling, it's like, depending on the situation, sure. People that postponed, which is great, different situation altogether. Now, but once we got out of quarantine, right around January to February, when people started to ask me again, hey, what are your policies on refunds? Back to normal. There are no refunds. The only difference is on deposits anyway. The only difference is if you have to move your date for COVID, we will push that credit to wherever you're moving your date. That's it. But if you cancel just because you don't want to be inconvenienced, that's on you. So we postpone. We give credits. But if you cancel just because you don't want to do the party anymore because it's slightly different, you're not getting your money back. That's on you. Because I had a client right now just yesterday said, "Oh, we're really concerned about our event that's in December. It's July. What can we do about getting our money back?" I'm like, well, we can postpone it. You can keep a credit. Well, we're not really sure we're going to have it anymore. I'm like, first off, it's July. It's real weird to me that you're asking about a December event in July. So, no, you're not getting your money back. And if you cancel when the rule is you're still able to have parties, then you especially don't get your money back. Okay. People always want to use the rules against you. Now I'm using the rules, not so much against them, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. DJ Malibu says, what do you think of future Pioneer DDJ Serato controllers? What do you think we will have the next flagship controller? I couldn't tell you anyway. NDAs. NDAs. I'm going to put a sign that says NDAs. But the most likely time that you will see any new product from any company is NAMM. I doubt we're going to see much at it hasn't happened yet. from the expo, the DJ Expo. I was thinking about going, but then with the variant and everything, I'm like, you know what? I'm good to stay home. I'll just go old school with my videos, read the manuals again. But I don't even know I don't know what we're gonna see from the expo. I don't know how many people are really gonna go. It's a weird time. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll let the ones that were answered in the chat stay answered in the chat. I think what I'm hearing from people, you know, because I'm seeing things like sorting by key and BPM at the same time is also very helpful. I think what I'm seeing is maybe newer DJs trying to figure out what works. And if that's the case, hey, more power to you. I just don't think that way anymore. And I think mix and key, I think BPM are good references, but I feel that if you lock yourself in to this is how I DJ, in the event you get to a situation where that stuff's not available to you, you're likely going to struggle. And that's my issue with all of these tools. They're tools. They're not supposed to be, you know, the final product. They're tools to get you to a competent level so then you can continue to do your thing. Now, if you fall into a rut, you're like, damn, I need a song. I'm tired. I've been DJing for 7 hours. What to play? And you sort by BPM or you sort by key. Okay, different story. But if you're like locked into this is how I DJ, I just feel that you're limiting yourself. You know. DJ Audio 1 says, I have a really bad feeling. California might shut down. Hush your mouth. I'm really looking at opportunities on the tech and cannabis. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just, we are at we've never been at the mercy of like the government. That's the issue. The mercy of the government is fickle, and you never know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So, you know, when people start making phone calls like, hey, I want refunds, and then, or people are like, let's hold off on that booking until we hear what's going on, that's not a good sign. Now, I know they're going to book. I'm not questioning that. But I can't live off it like anymore. I used to be able to say, oh, let me look at next year's bookings. Okay, great. There's 300 parties in the books. I'm good. Or whatever. You know, every day, every Saturday has, you know, 5 events. Cool. I have nothing to worry about. But now, those 5 events could turn into 0 events and had nothing to do with me. And that's the problem. Moberry from the fully vaccinated Maryland. The whole state is fully vaccinated? Queso says, I'm telling you, California is too strict. Yeah, it is. Diamond Lee in the building. What's going on, fam? What's going on? Audio ones. This is exactly correct. Yeah, streaming's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere at all. And the more times they shut down, the more you're going to see people back in here. I knew I was going to say something, and then I moved into a different storyline. This is what I've noticed. I've noticed that there's a lot of DJs that have stopped streaming. Okay, but for the DJs that have stopped streaming, I have noticed that the ones that have stayed are receiving an uptick. So if they were like good before, but maybe there was somebody bigger that was always in their window, so people kept kind of looking over there. I'm seeing those people start to have better numbers. So it's all the only people that lose in any industry, in any situation, are the ones that quit. So don't think about like, oh, my numbers aren't that good. Think about, my numbers aren't that good right now. But as I keep doing it, they're going to get better and better and better. But if you quit, you'll never know. Then you definitely did fail. DJ Reaper says no refunds on deposits no matter what period. This is actually incorrect. Legally speaking, there's always a way for a client to get their money back. When quarantine happened, there's a thing called force majeure. And that is something that is entirely out of anybody's control. Not even an act of God, can save your money. So just keep that in mind. If somebody were to take you to court during quarantine, and then the judge says, when's the event? Oh, it was a month ago, and we couldn't have the party because the state closed down. The judge is going to say, you didn't do anything. Give them their money back. No matter what. No judge is going to say, well, you have a contract. They're going to say, no, this was something out of everybody's control. You didn't do the work, and they got screwed, so give them their money back. If a client takes you to court, that was the facts. Now, it's different. And that's what I've been telling people. Like in every email that goes out, our COVID policy is on every single email. And the reason why it is so people don't think that they can just make the same choices that they made during quarantine last year. Nobody knew about COVID last year. So that made it different. Now that you are aware of COVID, you are responsible for your own actions. So if you book during COVID and we say, here's our policy for COVID, that's it. That's it. But your contract still has to support it. So if something is canceled and you want to be an ass and only get 2/3 back, or take 2/3, that's on you. We are typically keep the deposit, but we won't keep the final balance, or we won't require a client to pay the final balance. Okay. Mike Beats in the building. What is going on? All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to drop down and then head back up. All right. Okay. Let's do some honesty real quick, because I just saw something that popped up. Not really a rant, just honesty. Okay. Look, guys. Okay. First off, in my family on my wife's side, we have two different fields, work fields. Half the people are doctors, and half the people are lawyers. That's it. Everybody on my wife's side is the same, okay? So I have access to lawyers galore. This reservation fee does not work. You can try it, you can say, but it does not work. Now, I'm only talking about in the event of a pandemic, okay? I'm not talking about normal life where somebody books you, and you take that deposit, and you tell other people that wanted to book you, I'm no longer available because I already have this booking. So if that potential person that booked you says, "Oh, I'm no longer having my party," then you say, "Well, you're not getting your deposit back because I turned away somebody else that was willing to pay not only my deposit, but the full amount for the party. That's reality, okay? But during pandemics, all that goes out the door, okay? Legally speaking, you actually have no ground to stand on, okay? Because of force majeure. Every judge will side on the plaintiff's side, not yours. Now, which is why I have told people it's not just a deposit. For during COVID, it's a credit that you can use at some other point, because then you're not out of pocket. And if they were to take me to court, a judge would say, well, they're issuing you a credit. They're not just keeping the money. So I don't see anything wrong with them just holding it until you're ready to do another party. You know, it looks like they're operating in good faith. And that's really all you can do, is operate in good faith. Okay. Okay. Kevin John says, my MacBook came with Mojave and started glitching. The only fix that worked was an upgrade to Big Sur, which does not support some RAIN products. Would you recommend going back to Mojave? Rule of thumb is the operating system that your computer came with, usually speaking, it will work the best forever. Every time you upgrade, you know, you're losing out on some things. Now, every so often, like say for instance, when Sierra came out, Sierra sucked. By the time they got to High Sierra and stripped away, it was like the best it could possibly be. High Sierra is probably still one of their best OSs that they've made. But typically speaking, the software that came with the hardware is the one that's gonna function the best. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, anybody that's not from America, or that doesn't have Spanish people wherever they live, it's pronounced Mojave. I know a lot of people pronounce it Mojave, but it's actually the J is silent, so it's Mojave. Just keep that in mind for everybody. Okay. Jesus, this thing is flying. Do you have any video tutorials on groove writing, pitch writing as a mixing technique? Do you know of any video tutorials? I don't have any on that. Because I never got great at pitch writing. I can do it, you know, but some people, they're flawless with it. I'm not flawless with it. I can make it happen. But yeah, I'm always gonna ride. I'm gonna ride the tables. I'm gonna ride usually the actual tables more than I'll ever ride the pitch. But if you can master that, oh, you're smooth. You're smooth. There was a girl I saw on D Nice's when he's still big on IG, but you know, when he was like at his height, he started bringing in new people, and he brought in this girl. I can't even remember her name, but she was rocking his controller, and she never touched the jogs the entire time for 2 hours straight. She's just riding the faders over and over again, and it was the most flawless mixing I'd ever seen. So, you know, to each their own, man. More power to them. All right, let's see here. All right, Negative Jeff says Ella Skins. There you go. Let's see here. Ratbone in the building. What's going on, man? Good to see you. 916 Junglist in the building. Make sure you guys are following 916 Junglist. He does DJs, not DJing. Hey, you know what? Let's ask 916 Junglist. So I don't know how long you've been in here, because I always have answer questions late. But what are you seeing in up where you are as far as DJing? I know you've been doing a little traveling. What have you been seeing as far as shutdowns and things? Are people on the fence? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. Okay. Oh, this chat is flying, which is great, but I'm trying to keep up here. DJ For Real, awesome watching you come back to life on your IG. Congrats on your son's first gig. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Raw DJs, thank you for that resub. Appreciate you guys. So by the way, if anybody's not following me on IG, you want to follow me on IG because there's a lot of things I put on IG that I don't put on Twitch, that I don't put on YouTube. I every so often I do a whole bunch of like DJ skits, so to speak, that will obviously get me flagged on YouTube. I typically put them on IG. So I try to give each format something different. So like my IG is different than my Twitch. My Twitch is different than my YouTube. That way, there's a reason for people to go to each thing. Yes, on Thursdays I do Tech Thursday, and of course, I multi-stream to both Twitch and YouTube, but that's just because that's what this particular show demands. On Wednesdays, when I typically would do my 12 o'clock show, that's only for Twitch, And typically, in that case, we might do more like real music-oriented showcases where I'll play music on the stream because I'm not worried about getting demonetized or getting a strike on my YouTube channel. Okay. All right, let's drop down. What time is 11:36? DJ Reaper says, I'm having a brain freeze. How do you follow someone is the same as adding them as a friend? No. If you're talking about Twitch, adding as a friend does absolutely nothing. So just stop that. You want to usually click on their profile, and then their thing will pop up, and then hit follow. If we're talking about Twitch. Okay. All right, you guys know what to do. If you have any questions, hit that ask. Okay, so 916 is getting vax carded. Which it is what it is. I know some people are like, civil rights, you're taking away my freedom. America. No. And to each their own. You do what you want to do. But I don't have an issue with or against the vaccination card. This is my issue. Okay, I think we just need to identify the biggest issue with vaccinations. And that is, they don't protect you from getting COVID. They protect you from dying from COVID. So, and also, what I learned yesterday when I was on The Masked Singer, and I talked to their COVID specialist, if you are vaccinated, your viral load, even if you have COVID, is considerably lower than the viral load you'd have if you didn't get vaccinated. So in other words, if I'm seeing the message here. So in other words, if we'll just say 100 is the line, okay? If you get COVID and you're not vaccinated and the germ spread, the viral that is coming out of your mouth, let's say there's a maximum of 100 spit molecules. I know it's low, okay? 100. If you are vaccinated and get COVID, the viral load you have is like 20. So even if you have the virus, you're less likely to give it to other people. So that's the issue with why vaccinations are important. Now, I don't believe that vaccination cards mean anything, because you being vaccinated doesn't mean that you don't have COVID. So, when they do this thing where it's like, the only people that are allowed in without mask are people that have been vaccinated, I'm just thinking like, yeah, but they could have it. Their viral load would be lower, but they still could have it. So, like on the Masked Singer, they test every time you walk in the door. So, I'm there again on Saturday. On Friday, I have to drive out to Hollywood, get retested, and then on Saturday, I do believe that I will get temperature checked and maybe scanned again, because I was tested on, what is today, Wednesday, Thursday? So I was tested on Monday. The show was moved to Wednesday because of COVID. The show was moved to COVID protocols, not the whole thing got COVID. The show was moved from Thursday, which was supposed to be today, or supposed to be Tuesday. They moved it to Wednesday. So I was tested on Monday, and then on Wednesday I was retested again. So that's the only way to be sure. Just test. And I think that if people were smart enough, especially these parties out here, driving me nuts that they don't just hire a fast test company to come out, because we've been there, I've seen them, and they just test you as you walk in the door. 15-minute test, you're done. You walk in the door, you're good. It's not that complicated. I've done 3 events where they tested, and people were so much more relaxed. Okay. All right. Possibly. How big are the crowds at the Masked Singer? So I think technically speaking, usually it's like 300 to 400. It's not a lot of people at all. Yesterday was smaller. I think Saturday will probably be considerably bigger, because yesterday was like 150. But yeah. Okay. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I started putting my mask on again when I'm out. And even though everybody's vaccinated, even though everybody's been tested and they're clear, you have to wear masks all the time during the Masked Singer. I wore a mask the entire time. The only time you don't have to wear a mask is if you're talking, like you're the MC, and then you go back in and, although I don't know about the talent. I don't know how much they push that. I'm not going to even speculate. Heard folks are getting secretly vaxxed because they are afraid of friends harassing them. God, that's horrible. DJ Dam, the answer is absolutely yes. My uncle is a virologist. This is what he does for a living, and he's like, no, people are catching it. The Delta variant is very, very easy to catch, but what they're seeing is people that are vaccinated aren't going to the hospital. The only people going to the hospital for the most part are non-vaccinated people. But he did, because he's got small children. They were supposed to go to Hawaii. They canceled Hawaii because he didn't want to worry about the small children have to wear masks and all that time for long periods of time. So there is a concern. It's there, but there are ways to avoid it. That's funny. Secretly getting vexed. That's sad. All right, Raw DJ. Somebody said great question. Okay. What is your most anticipated new piece of equipment? this is a secret question because we're asking. Are we asking about the most anticipated equipment that hasn't been announced yet, or the most anticipated equipment that I just don't have on me? It's a good question, though. It's a good question. Let's just look. We're in a good technology period. We're just gonna say it like that, you know. Yeah, I'm excited for NAMM. I'm excited for NAMM. Okay, and that's all I will say. Sorry, I'm not gonna read some of these things. I'm just looking at some of the Missouri talk, which is hilarious. So yeah, we talk everything on this stream. I know it's Tech Thursday, but you know, the stuff we're talking about has absolutely everything to do with DJs being able to actually work. You know, so you know, the more we go through the more we go through the dumb stuff, the longer it's going to be. You know, I mean, we likely wouldn't be in this situation right now if we just thought more as a country and as a world. Do you okay, DJ For Real says, do you use any stress mats when you're working? My legs are getting sore fast. So I don't when I'm working. I do have one in here. I got one of those kitchen like mats that you can basically be barefoot, and it's amazing. I have one of those, but I don't bring one with me. But I should. Oh, there you go, Mixed Master. Got the COVID. Okay, so this is actually very, very funny. It is a hot take. I love wearing masks on events because for two reasons. One, because of the proximity, people tend to not come so close to you. That's the first thing. Also, because of the proximity, you can be more of an ass, and people will let it go. Like when they come up, hey, excuse me, and they're like, oh, sorry, my bad. Let me back up. Like before, if you tried to do that before COVID, they would be like, oh, how dare you? Now they're like, sorry, you know. Now they're doing this more, you know. Hey, like, come on, man. But what I love about masks is I wear my thoughts on my face. So anytime I'm like annoyed with something, it's like, and they can't see what I'm saying. Fucking asshole, fucking son of a bitch. So much easier. Okay. DJ Liz says, what's your favorite completely analog mixer? Oh man, I haven't worked off an analog mixer since the 57. The 57, the last two analog mixers I used was the 57 and God, what is it? The Vestax PT. Those were the two last analog mixers that I used. And let's just say I'm happier where we are now than where we were before. I'm a fan of technology. You know, a lot of people are, you know, purists. I'm a fan of technology. The mixers today, they may not sound as good, but that's relative depending on the mixer. But they're just better all around. DJ For Real in the building. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out today. Um, I can't talk more about the Masked Singer because it's the Masked Singer. You know, you have to be secret. No, specifically just for you. That's out currently. Um, oh, um, well, I mean, look, I'm fortunate to be in a situation where I do receive, all the latest and greatest gear. So I'm probably the last person that you would that would actually be able to give you an honest answer because I have everything. I got an S11 under this desk. I have a Rain 70 over there. I got a DDJ 1000 SRT and record box version. I have a Rain 1, sitting in the truck right now. Um, Speakers. I got Bose. I got JBL, Eons, SRX systems. I I got two different computers, XMG and the Mac right here. I'm kind of doing okay. I'm kind of doing okay. So to say something is anticipated, there's really nothing out there besides a Rodecaster Pro that I've been asking for a year now, and my guys can't get me one. They just are not available. That's it. The Rodecaster Pro. That's the most anticipated piece of hardware that I still have yet to use. I need an effects controller that essentially is the middle part of the S9 or S11 to use with the 4-channel mixer with 4 toggles. Good luck with that one. I mean, you never know. The XP3 might have that. I wouldn't put it past Pioneer to come out with an XP3 with toggles. Have not met the judges yet. Probably meet them over the week. It depends. Some people, some of the talent literally goes from like one place to the next. So you never have access to them. There's a couple that I know have been roaming around a little bit more. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm not that, hey. I'm not that guy. Never have been. DJ Dan, that's actually funny. Okay. I'm sure I missed some questions. Because I'm seeing people saying big facts and all that, so I know I've missed some things, but if I missed your question, throw it in the bottom. I'm going from the bottom now up to kind of see where we are. Okay. Stun Tiquan said, is there a real good reason to upgrade a Pioneer DDJ SP1 to XP2 if you're not a DJ that finger drums? I mean, you use Silent Q? And I got one over here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, it's dusty. Been sitting around for a while. All right. So I don't have the XP1 or the SP. Why am I blurry? I feel like I'm blurry. I don't have that one available to me, but basically the SP1 is, essentially like here without these guys, but you are missing the Silent Q. I don't, you know what? We should pull one up. We should pull one up and see the difference. Because I Gemini, cheese and rice. Okay. We'll pull one up and see the difference here. And then we'll try to answer some questions here. Traveling up here to see what we got going on. A lot of people are using inexpensive Serato controllers, especially the younger people, because the entry is affordable. So I think a lot of people will go to smaller controllers to continue to upgrade. It's backwards now, where it used to be. I think DJs would go straight to turntables and then move to controllers. Now you have people from controllers moving to turntables. So it's a little backwards. Okay, hold on. I have already put my thoughts on the XMG laptop. There's already a video on it. So it's a great laptop. It's a great laptop. But check the video. I want to get more thorough. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. You ever been waiting on a sneeze like the entire time? And then finally it happens. That was me today. Just waiting on a sneeze. I've been congested for like a few days. This heat, this pollen, everything's just all up in the air. But I'm fine. I'm just congested. Okay. Just hearing class. Wait, has this been recorded up till now? I don't know what that means. Chris just says I love Prime 4. Prime 4 is a great controller. DJ List turned up with the Prime 2 and turned some heads. I like the Prime 2. I like the Prime 4 more. I wish the Prime 2 had more Prime 4 technology in it. I think they made some choices that they didn't need to make on the Prime 2 just to have a separation between the 2 and the 4. I don't think it matters. I think a lot of people don't care about price. They care about options, and they removed some big options for me. So I never even reviewed the Prime 2, but it's a good mixer. I mean, it's Prime 2, SX3. Besides everything being internal, that's important, Okay. DJ Andres says, I love all the new gear. I just don't use it. No tricks kind of DJ. That's fair. That's fair. I think there is power in both. I also believe that I think that a lot of people never really learn their hardware or the software. So they think that when something comes out that they need it, but really if they just learn their own hardware, like in and out, they probably wouldn't need to upgrade. So because there's a lot of features that are found. I'll give you the perfect example. There are some effects, like even on the S9, that I didn't know existed until the S11 came out. And my guy's like, "Oh, that one was already there." I'm like, it was. Never realized for the longest time that the Rane 70 had a decking echo. I don't love their version of Ducking Echo, but it's there. You know, there's always little things, and then it didn't take into account your whole ability to MIDI map. There's a lot of things. The only thing that any new hardware can't do on its own, at least in my opinion, is one, give you Scratch Bank. That has to be something that is like allowed by Serato, and it's definitely just a software setting. It has nothing to do with the fact that Scratch Bank won't work on some of these older systems. Scratch Bank will work everywhere, as we now know, since Reloop got Scratch Bank today. So that's one of those arbitrary decisions to not release it to all the hardware, but it could be available. And I believe that if Scratch Bank were available to all hardware, for instance, like, hold on, I'll get right back to that. The thing that I know is not transferable is Silent Q. Silent Q, for whatever reason, is kind of hardware specific, or at least have software internally that you can emulate hardware. So that is an issue. If you want Silent Q, you're gonna have to buy gear with the Silent Q built in. When I was using the SRT yesterday, I strangely don't like the SRT. Now, I say that in a way that you need to understand. The SRT, the 1000 is the best, still the best controller out right now, jog wheel wise. But I cannot stand the effects system in the SRT. In the 1000 period. I can't stand it now. Now that I've moved on, I've been using, like the Rain 1 and it's got the paddles. I'm a paddle guy. And if you don't give me paddles, give me SX2. Give me a button that represents each effect at the top. But don't give me one switch that I gotta move. Oh, wait, I'm gonna echo out on channel 1. Now I'm gonna echo out on channel 2. Oh, wait a minute. Is it on channel 2? Is it on 1? Oh, it's on 3. I couldn't see it because of where my angle is. I cannot stand the effects panel on the 1000. I was tolerant enough with it beforehand. Tolerant enough, but once I started getting other products that had the toggles, oh man, it's hard to go back. It is hard to go back. Okay. All right. Oh, it's funny. So when on the Masked Singer, people have been responding on my IG saying, "Oh, I was there. Oh, you killed it. I was there." And I'm like, there's so many DJs. There's so many DJs in the world. Everybody's a DJ, and I didn't think. Okay, so the Masked Singer. I'll give you a little info. It's not the Masked Singer part is glamour and glitz. The DJ part is shoved in a shoebox, literally like the size of this area right here, and you're not even looking at the stage. You're looking away from the stage. Now there happens to be a TV right next to you, so you can kind of see what's going on, but there's such a delay because it's video, that by the time when you hear it, it's delayed. So you can't even use it as like a real good audio cue. Like if you're listening to the audio, you're gonna mess up your mix. So there is that. So you're looking away this way. The stage and everything is behind you, but it's completely blocked off with like LED screens and everything. So you have to listen as well as you can for the MC's cues as he's kind of traveling through like the little holes of of the areas. Okay, so when people start to yell and scream like we were doing grand entrances, and I had a song for each talent, you know, because there's like Nicole Scherzinger and Dr. Ken and Robin Thicke, and so I had songs for each of them. But it got to a point because they don't the way they bring people in is not always how they tell you they're coming in. Like, okay, we're gonna start with Nicole and go this, go this. By the time they get to it, it's like Dr. Ken's first, this person's first, so you have to really adjust quickly. That's not the issue. We all do that. But as people start screaming louder and louder for each person, because who came out first? Robin Thicke came out first, and then Jenny McCarthy, and then right there it got so loud that I couldn't tell if it was Ken or if it was Nicole, because you're trying to hear. So finally I heard it and dropped it, but you know, I didn't drop it exactly on the place I wanted to drop it because I had 2 cue points. And I just in case it was the wrong person, I didn't want to drop a song with words and it's saying something that's completely different than the person that was coming out. So anyway, so you're in this little shoebox, you know, and we're talking, this is upwards of 8 to 12 hour days, you know, and you play in between, you play during commercials, you play during setup, like if there's an elaborate masked person and then they gotta move everything out. Okay, then you're playing in between there. The MC comes back on, starts hyping, starts giving away stuff, yada, yada, yada. So the problem is you're always on, even when you're not on, because you're always having, so you might be sitting there and not doing anything, but you have to watch the show happen because they might say, oh, wait, hold on, cut, we need to bring this thing out. You just stay there, and then you got to like start playing music again. So I can't just like, you know, go out and go to the craft services and chill out there for 20 minutes. You know, you got like 5 minutes at best, and then you got to get back and just kind of sit and wait. Steve MCC, I did not play Blurred Lines because that's so cliche. I felt like if he knows people are going to play Blurred Lines for him. So I played When I Get You Alone. That is actually the first song that he came out with, where he had long hair. He was like a hippie dude riding a bike, and it takes a sample from an old disco track. Great song though. Audio One, they did give you a headset. But the problem wasn't the headset. The problem was they don't always tell you when they want you to play music. So sometimes they'll do that, and then all of a sudden, like, they'll go, oh, can we turn the music on? So I kind of wanted to be prepared. You know what I mean? So basically, I always was sat there. But yes, typically speaking, when the production is like totally on, you know, yes, that's what the earpiece is for. So I did have a pack. Okay. Do you play New Kids on the Block for Jenny? I did play New Kids on the Block. What did I play? I didn't play Hangin' Tough because my dude said he played it, so I was like, I gotta play something different. I played You Got the Right Stuff. That's what I played. Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't play that. Like, I didn't play Gotta Give It Up, and I thought about it because it's a banging track, but I felt like that'd be weird, especially considering, you know. I figured they'd be a little angry. No comment. Reverend Funktology, thank you for the bits. Appreciate you. Okay. Exactly. Where did my thing go? Pause. I lost my little... Oh, there it is. No, it's gone. DJ Logic says, what's your thought on the new 8-track mixer? I think it's a gorgeous looking mixer. I think they did a really, really good job on it. I think it's the worst kept secret on the planet because 8-track was showing that thing off at the Goldie Awards. So I think everybody knew about the mixer well before it was coming out. Rain was sending me press releases like, hey, just want to let you know this is coming out, it's coming out. Like, yeah, man, I know. It's been like that. But it's a great mixer. Great mixer. It's a beautiful, beautiful colorware. I love the knobs. Love the knobs. The knobs are super clean on that mixer. I'm glad he chose the Rane 70 over the 72. I think the Rane 70 is probably the best mixer that Rane makes. So I'm glad they chose that one. Not to mention, my guess is with the Rane 72, because everything is so squished on that deck, it would have been harder to get everything laid out properly. Okay. All right, let's see. There's my arrow. All right. Look, I'm actually on time here. Sweet. Philip Tan, thank you for the resub. Guys, in case you didn't know, look, obviously subscriptions are welcome. We appreciate everything, especially considering who knows what we're going to be doing in the next few months. But if you, money is an issue, but you got Amazon Prime, use your Amazon Prime option, and you can use it once a month for one of your favorite Twitch people. So go ahead and use your Amazon Prime if you want. But I appreciate everybody. Reverend Funkology says, have you used the Rane 1 with Algorithm DJ? I have, multiple times. It's a very, very impressive setup. Very, very impressive. It's a video that I want to do if I can get time. Honestly. So this is the weirdness. The phone is ringing off the hook. The emails are coming through. Yet people are also saying, well, I may want to cancel. I may want to do this. Yet I keep working. So I'm in this catch-22 of normally when I would like shoot videos, I've had to go out of my way to, I gotta call these people back before, we lose them out as potential clients. So there's all these issues. I'm always working right now. I can't just take a couple hours to make videos right now. And it's so frustrating. I know this is first world problems, but it is what it is. So I have a video on the Rane 1 and Algorithm DJ. I'm probably going to do a news update on, instead of doing a video on the Rane 70 8-track version, there was something else. Probably should have wrote it down. I thought about it 2 days ago. Rane 1, it was the Rane 70. What was it? I can't remember now. Did I make a note? It'll come back later on. Oh, that's annoying. This is why you should write stuff down. I can't remember. But it was all DJ related. So when I think about it, I'll do the video. What was it? Oh, that's going to drive me nuts today. So yeah, that fader that lets you control the effects is great. Although I'm not sure that it couldn't be accomplished with some clever MIDI, since you can do that with the S11 right now. So we know it's built into Serato. You just got to know how to access it. Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. You understand how annoyed I am right now? Well, I'm gonna type this down right now anyway, just so I don't forget. Okay, I know there was Rain 70 A-Track. Oh, the other one was Mixcloud, and there was one more. Wasn't the white SRT, but I might throw that in as a little tidbit. So annoying. I'll get the other one next. It's been a late night, so I'm a little tired. Okay. What are we at? 12:15. We're gonna finish this off because I do have stuff I need to do. Let's see if we have any more questions. If you got questions, hit that ask button in front of your question. That way I know I should answer. Yeah, but the Rain 1 is going to be the Rain 1 iPad, that's going to be a dedicated video. Because I think it's important that it is. Okay. Let's see here. Chris says, oh, that's way too big. That's what she said. Chris says, I have a 2015 MacBook Pro. Is it safe to update it or will it slow down my laptop? Update it to what? You got to be more specific, Christopher. Update it to Catalina. Updated to Mojave, updated to Big Sur. You know, you got to be more specific there. Let's increase my font. There we go. Have you been watching the Olympics? Yes. All day, all night. My wife is getting annoyed with me because I'm addicted to the Olympics right now. I'm a big fan of swimming, and because I swim myself, I'm a big fan of swimming. Big fan of track, basketball too. Although they were kind of disappointing me, so I watched the last one where they beat them by like 40 points. But yes. Now here's a little tidbit. The best way to watch Olympics is through the NBC Sports app. Best way. Because not only do they have live coverage, but they have live coverage for everything. So the things that aren't being shown on like NBC are on the app. So you can watch all that live coverage. So I tend to watch stuff at like, 1 in the morning. Like I'll watch Olympics then when it's like the middle of the day for Japan. So NBC app is excellent. Excellent. I thought breakdancing was this year. Oh, yeah, it is the next one. I think it's, yeah. Peacock is good too. Okay, great. I'm assuming that everything that NBC owns right now is going to be pretty amazing because they're trying to get everybody over. I'm not signing up for another subscription. Peacock, I'm not signing up. I'm not going to do it. Is it safe to upgrade to the latest OS for Mac? It's relatively safe. It's not recommended, but it's relatively safe. It's more operate at your own risk than anything else. Like we've said. I'm on Catalina. I'm exceptionally happy with Catalina. I don't have an urge to go to Big Sur. DJ Gemini says, I will be the DJ music director for the Paris Olympics. That is absolutely amazing. Congratulations. If you're looking for an assistant, just let me know. And I say that jokingly, but absolutely serious too. The MWM phase magnets don't stick to my vinyl anymore. What should I do? Get new stickers. Easiest way. I believe there are 2 sets in a box. Or were there 4 sets in a box? No, there were 2 sets. Yeah, so there should be 4 tabs in one box, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive about that. Can't bring myself to leave Reign now that I've walked away from Pioneer. Look, they both have very, very good mixers. You're on High Sierra, you can update to Catalina and be fine. But that's relative. It's not necessarily being concerned with can your computer take it. It's more can your hardware take it. I don't know what you're using. So you might update and find some of your hardware no longer works. For instance, this guy right here, which is my old M-Box, the last operating system this will work with is High Sierra. After that, obsolete. So I still have a MacBook Pro, my 2012 MacBook Pro, sitting over there. That's on High Sierra. So I make sure that just in case, it works properly. Okay. Where are we going? A couple more, and then we're going to get out of here. What happened to the Red Bull 3-style contest? Is it coming back? I'm assuming that it's just based upon COVID, and they'll be back once they're allowed to, pack the house. Red Bull makes enough money that they don't need to rely on that particular contest. So I think it's just a matter of time. Reverend says, will you be getting the M1 Mac? Probably not. Almost definitely not. If I do get anything, it'll be whatever 16-inch MacBook Pro comes out with the M1, M2, M3, M2X, whatever. If it's good enough, and it's going to have easily 16 cores. 16 cores to get me to even move over. This is what is this, 10 core? 8 core? And it's been fine. So it's got to be at least double that, and or 20 cores. And the biggest concern I have is the dedicated graphics card. Are they going to try to use their own? Are they going to use, one of the prosumer lines? That's the big question, is the graphics cards. Because if you're going integrated, not so big of a deal. The MacBook Airs, the 13-inch MacBooks Pros, it doesn't really matter. But I'm trying to do, a lot of other stuff that requires, that relies on graphics cards. Now, I use Final Cut, so I know it's going to be optimized. So technically speaking, it doesn't matter what the graphics card is, because Apple's going to find a way to make sure that it works perfectly in the best possible way. But if I decide to go outside of the box, I need a graphics card that's going to work, since nobody wants to optimize like Apple does. Okay. Go Rain 68. Oh, the Rain 68. That was a fun time. I think it's time for Pioneer to not jump when I'm trying to read. I think it's time for Pioneer to come out with a Pioneer DDJ SZ3. What do you think? I'm not the guy to ask about that, because I've never been a fan of the SZ2. At all. It's too big. It's just too big. It's a desktop sized controller. It's fine, but if I'm going to look at the SZ, I'm going to look at the SX3, in all honesty. 20 minutes until I can prime sub. That's hilarious. I don't know that I'm going to stay on for that long. Let's see. Finn says, let's see. I listened to Nick Spinelli. Get back up there. Oh, I hate when that happens. Hold on. Because I can't read it. Okay. I listened to Nick Spinelli, and in Jersey, it appears that weddings finish around midnight. Here in Montreal, the reception started at 5 and finished at 2 in the a.m. What time do you finish? Hey, I finish when they stop paying me. But typically speaking, midnight is the max. Nobody typically goes past 12 o'clock. You know, and you're saying they start at 5 and then go until 2 in the morning? That is a long ass day. That is a long, long day. That's a long day. So that's all I can say. If that were the case, I don't know that I'd be doing weddings. If that is consistent, like every single wedding, I don't know that I would be doing weddings. Do you ever think Mixcloud will ever get as popular as Twitch? Sure. If Twitch says DJs can no longer DJ here, I think Mixcloud will be exceptionally popular then. Now, if I can just remember what the hell the last... I like to do my news reports in 3s. And I have 2. But there was a 3rd. I mean, I guess I could talk about Serato, but I might talk about Serato and the fact that now Reloop has Scratch Bank. Maybe. Okay. Just so I don't forget. All right. You might as well get the 1000 SRT. Okay. I think what they're talking about, KM7, is probably talking about KMT. If we're comparing it to the SZ2 or the SX3. Here's the thing. I love the jog wheels on the 1000, but there are tons of people that don't like the jog wheels, and they prefer the capacitive touch of the SX2, 3, SZ. Those are all capacitive. So I'm never going to say that anybody should get one or the other. I prefer, it's funny, because I prefer the 1000, but it's a series of compromises. I wish they would have merged the 1000 and the SX3, so the effects were up top, but it retained everything else. I wish they would have done that. I mean, in reality, that would have been the easiest way. Oh, and the loop functions of on the SRT are kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid that I have to hold shift to extend my loop. It's kind of dumb. Okay. I wasn't even thinking about that. I should quote that. I should make a shirt. That is a DJ shirt right there. I think I'm going to make a shirt. Because that's like a universal shirt. That could be in the industry. Like any industry. It could be the it could be DJing. It could be like the prostitution industry. It could be anything. Man, okay. A couple more. I really do have to get out of here, so a couple more. How do you assign different effects on the high pass, low pass knob on the S11? Do you mean multiples or just switching the MIDI mapping? Because it doesn't do simultaneous like the S7 does. People see the S7 and they think that the S11 is going to do the same things, and the reality is they both do different things, which is it's different. It's different. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's just dumb. Like, okay, so here's the truth. One of the reasons that I never use the silent Q on the Rane 72 is because you have to. They essentially MIDI mapped silent Q into the Rane 72, where the Rane 70 has basically a dedicated button right in the middle. You know, it can be used for multiple things, but those buttons are those buttons. When you do silent Q on the Rane 72, if you tell it, yes, I want to use silent Q, the parameter buttons get moved to silent Q. So in order to adjust the parameter buttons, you now have to hold shift to do any type of adjustment. I can't stand that. So I just wouldn't use silent Q on a mixer that requires me to do so much that I have to think about things while I'm DJing. That's the key here. I never want to think about things while I'm DJing. You know, even the S11, having the silent Q on page B is annoying to me. I want my silent Q on the top page, where if you know the S11, at the top, right above the WAV files, there is an internal that you can automatically hit internal and then go into internal mode. I don't care about internal mode. I never go into internal mode. So I want my silent Qs to be there. But you know, they haven't done that yet. I'm trying to get my guy Drew to draw it up, and he has this thing he calls the Contra code. And basically, it's a series of MIDI maps that make the S11 just do like absolutely amazing things. I gotta load it up because I haven't loaded up the newest one yet. So it might be in there. And if it's there, if my silent Q is right up top, I'll never complain again. DJ Throwback says, what do you think about Apple's push to go lossless? I can't hear audible difference. Is there anything maybe I'm missing a part of consideration to go lossless? If you can't hear it, it's probably two things. Your hearing might be going, and or the equipment you're using is not providing you with enough sound spectrum, enough range, I should say. So, because there is a difference. There is definitely a difference between lossless and 192. But you need the proper gear in order to use it. Which is why when people are like, oh, well, I only do like the biggest, I DJ with WAV files. Unless you're using like state-of-the-art sound systems that they use, you know, at like, you know, festivals, you're never going to hear it coming out of your, you know, JBL Eons. You're not going to hear all those subtle nuances. So, you know, for most people, MP3s are fine. If you're on tour, you're that tour guy, well, you're in a whole different ball game anyway, so we wouldn't even be talking about you. Okay. Let's see, a couple more. Reverend Funktology says, in my second week with hearing aids, it was brutal to discover. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. I know my hearing is still good because I was always big on, and I was an engineer, so the quality of my hearing, it's always easy to know when my hearing is failing. But anytime something's too loud, literally, like, I'd turn it off, or I would go in ears, or I'd place the speakers, in front of me, because you know when your ears are in pain. You just gotta, be smart about it. But some people just like to go hard. This too. Philipton is absolutely correct. Okay. Sela Yang says, have you tried the zone outputs on Denon Prime 4? Yes, I have. I've never used the Roland controller or the Reloop controller, but I've tried the zone on Denon Prime 4, and very impressive. I love the fact that I can play a whole different mix into the zone that I'm playing, for the people right in front of me. That's fantastic. That solves a lot of problems for a lot of people, especially if you're doing maybe you have a nightclub and maybe you have one part that's different than the other. You have a cocktail hour. Being able to just zone out for that, pardon the pun, is great. I love the jog wheels on the FLX6. If you love the jog wheels on the Flex, you'll love them even more on any of the more higher end ones. But they're fine. They're not as smooth as the 1000s, but they're definitely fine. Okay. Ronaldo says, I know a few years back you did a video on the 2012 MacBook Pro versus a newer. I'm thinking about getting one because it's the CD drive and lots of I/O support. Still worth it. I would never recommend anybody at this point in time to a 2012 anything. I do believe that we're at a point now where within the next update, OS update, I would say probably 1 to 2 years, the 2012 is going to be obsolete. Now, could you go with like a 2000? And the 2012 I was talking about did not have a CD drive. The 2012 was the first Retina MacBook. The one, I don't even have the old one. I still have my 2012 sitting here somewhere. It's over there. But the year before that was the one with the CD-ROM drive, which I did have, and I swapped it out for a larger but a secondary hard drive. But I would never recommend anybody to get a 2012 anything, because you're about to outdate yourself. But from what my understanding is, there's going to be more I/O ports on the new MacBook Pros coming out in the next couple of months. Do you ever think Pioneer will create a 4-channel Nexus mixer with integrated pads, or do they don't want to take away from controllers? Okay, good question. Here's the issue with this. A lot of the Nexus mixers, the CDJ 3000s, like all of these things aren't really designed for your average person. So they work through all of these things, and I don't know if there's a lot of people that come out and review the product, give their idea of what should be on the next product. Like they pull in professionals. Like for instance the S11. They pulled in the Beat Junkies to do some testing and to talk about all the things they like. So my guess is the market that they're shooting for, which is typically the electronic market, electronic artist market don't care about pads in the middle. That's my guess. Because of course they could do it, but that's my guess. So until there's a push because DJs, scratch DJs, battle DJs, open format DJs, tend to go more for pads. So yeah, I don't know that it's coming. 2 minutes, really? Okay, fine. I'll stay on for 2 more minutes. Will zone output ever end up on a Pioneer controller? Don't know. Maybe. Okay, so audio 1. I just to clarify what I'm saying. Again, there's nothing wrong with owning a 2012 MacBook Pro. Okay, my MacBook Pro, 2012 MacBook Pro, I'm not sure I would have updated if it weren't for my graphics display starting to fail, and I could not trust that it wouldn't fail on a party and I'm looking at a black screen. Okay, so if you have a 2012, keep it. What I'm saying is people come to me and they're saying, hey, which laptop should I buy? Should I buy a 2012? I can't tell somebody to buy a 9-year-old computer. I just can't do that, But if you have one, it's one of the best computers that Apple's ever made. Facts. Okay. All right. And yes, we have. The MacBook Airs are fine for DJing. Actually, who contacted me? Miss Ninja. She was asking if she should buy a MacBook Air and is it good enough to DJ? Of course it is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the 12. We're not in a situation where, look, first off, the most popular laptop for the longest time was, remember the old black MacBook? They loved that one. That was the most popular laptop. Then they had the 12-inch MacBook, and then, they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But as far as processing power is concerned, there's nothing in the 2012 MacBook Air that isn't in, the regular MacBook Pro without the dedicated graphics card, besides a fan. But the M1s don't really require fans, so you're fine with the MacBook Air. So 2015 is the unicorn. So 2015 is considered the best version of, okay. So there's two different computers, okay? So you got 2015 is the last time they made the 2012. Yeah, so 2015 is the best version of the 2012 chassis, okay? It's right before they went with the crappy keyboard with the new MacBook Pros, which is basically, this is the new MacBook Pro, but this is the 16 with the better keyboard. So this keyboard is good, usable, love it. I'm very happy with this computer. But the 2015 is the best of the 2012 chassis. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Agreed, Audio One. Look, there's a reason that I still own my 2012. And my son's like, why don't you give me a 2012? I'm like, because I love it still. And it's still one of my favorite computers. Okay. I don't know what this means. I'm on autoplay. So I'm not even thinking about, you know, whatever's playing. I can't even hear the music that's playing right now. Okay. So what I understand is the newest MacBook Pro that's coming out is going to have at least HDMI. It's going to have a dedicated power MagSafe port, and then still have and an SD card, and still have the 4 USBs. So essentially, the 2012 MacBook Pro, 2012 Retina, which Apple does it all the time. Now, if they come back with that just for the HDMI and the SD, I might update, depending on how much I could sell this one for. Okay. You see all the Vegas DJs are now switching to Rekordbox and USB sticks. So, okay. So here's the issue. And it's a big issue. Mr. Soul Fabulous in the house, what's going on? This will be probably the last thing, and then I'll take off. The issue is reliability. Now, for the longest time, people were concerned with like the Denon Primes, even with thumb drives. Oh well, what happens if your thumb drive, if it fails or whatever? But what I'm seeing now is the internal systems are far more reliable than your computer, because your computer at any point can just decide, I'm not prepared to work today, and then you're kind of screwed. So my Denon Prime Go is exceptionally reliable. Rekordbox moving to thumb drives, which I think people are not going to thumb drives. They're going to hard drives, solid state drives. But that might be the future. It might be the future in computers. We're spending all this money on computers, and we might not even be using computers in 5 years. We might be internal on everything, or in just an external hard drive that you plug in to whatever system you're using. Because right now, I've never once thought about summertime like I do right now. And it's frustrating to me that I have to think, where am I going to be? I'm going to be outside. Oh, is my laptop going to have problems? Oh, should I bring the Prime Go because of it? Oh, I'll probably bring the iPad so I can rock on. There's so many little things that are now floating through my head that didn't used to float through my head. A thumb drive is simple, but there are varying speeds of thumb drives. So you can't say that they all just get a thumb drive, because you can get a slow one and it's going to affect your DJing, especially on these newer mixers that literally talk to one thumb drive at a time. Like you only need to have one thumb drive plugged in and they'll talk to one another. So it needs to be fast enough to be able to support simultaneous playing, simultaneous searching. There's a lot of little things. Okay. Yeah, Mixmaster. See, this is why Mixmaster says, I had a little issue when I used my thumb drive. I had a random thumb drive in my car. I told the story already of DJing in Vegas, and they were like, oh, we use Rekordbox here, or we use CDJs. So bring your thumb drive. I'm like, I don't even use CDJs. So I had to get all this stuff set up using Mixmaster GNL software, conversion stuff to get everything over to Rekordbox. Copied it over to my thumb drive. Thought I was fine. Plugged in my thumb drive. The majority of my music was there, but there was just like missing songs out of playlist. So for whatever reason, it just stopped. Or got corrupted as it was transferring over. So the faster the drive, the less you deal with that kind of stuff. All right. Last question. DJ Farrell in the building. How long should you play your songs at gigs in front of the crowd? Okay. Well, this is a very long and storied question and answer. How long should you play your songs at gigs? Now, there's different schools of thought. I know people that tell me that you should play the whole song. Play whole songs. If you play whole songs, you're not going to piss off a crowd. I am the opposite. I think that as you're playing songs, you got to be able to read the room. And typically speaking, unless you're doing a line dance or a song that is known for having things that you need to play for through the whole thing, you cut songs, a couple of minutes in. That's just my opinion. That is the way I DJ. So let me give you an example. So I DJ fast. I DJ'd yesterday, and I could have chosen to just play a whole song the entire time. So maybe during the break, let's say if there's a 10-minute break, I play 3 songs, maybe 4 tops. Or I can use that 10 minutes and play, 7, 8, 9 songs and keep people interested in what's going on as they're sitting there for an 8-hour day. So everybody's different. Everybody is different. It's always going to be me. I've tried to play longer. I don't play. And look, I'm not like Hollywood, LA DJ or New York DJ that's literally dropping new songs in the middle of verses. Like, that's not me. Okay. I at least need to have 1 chorus and 1 verse. Just typically that's my standard. Anything left, like I won't typically play like 1 chorus into another song. It's usually 1 verse, 1 chorus. Maybe if I've already edited the track, it'll be a chorus in the beginning, the verse, and then a chorus right afterwards, and that's the chorus I'm mixing out of the chorus. That's long enough. Everybody's different though. Everybody's different. Yeah. 2 verses for me is like if I'm doing a private event, like a just normal event like that, you'll typically get 2 verses out of me. 2 verses, 2 hooks. If I'm doing kids music, like at a bar mitzvah, when it's their time, you'll get 1 verse and 1 hook. You might even get 1 hook because these kids only know hooks. So it just depends on the crowd. But I have found that no matter what the crowd is, typically speaking, if you're in and out of music, faster than slower, it's better. I could be 100% wrong because I know some people literally got angry at me, like, how dare you? If you stop cha-cha slide, you're gonna piss some people off. And if you stop, before I let go, you're gonna piss some people off. I'm like, look, guys, I'm not talking about every song. I'm talking about generalization. There are certain songs you let play. There are certain songs that don't make sense to play the whole time. That's it. I'm gonna stick by that. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's like, they just get pissed off if you cut their music. You're cutting the music at the wrong time. That's it. You're not playing the part they're expecting you to play. That's the issue. Not that you cut a song too soon, but that you did not play the part they were expecting. That's it. That's from my experience. So if you just skip to the Biggie version of All About the Benjamins, maybe you start with the puffy part, the first verse into Biggie's verse at the end. Nobody's gonna complain about that. Nobody's gonna complain about that. But if you start it off and you play puffy and then you mix out, people are gonna be like, yo, This is my part. No, it's called knowing your music. Knowing your music. The happy and okay, so you got to find the happy medium. I know what you're saying, but I want to clarify. There really isn't a happy medium. There's a read the room. The happy medium is what the room is suggesting to you. That's it. If you're playing music and you're looking at people and they're just like, and you play a song and they go, ah, and then by the second hook, they're just like, they need music mixed faster. So it's all about the crowd you're in. That's it. Okay. Oh, dope joints with no chorus. Yeah, that's a tough one. Because, typically speaking for those, especially if there's a crowd and you're playing something like a Triumph, there's a part in the song that everybody sings to, So when that part comes on, drop the music out, let them say their thing, then drop the new track. I get that. That makes sense. Let's see here. Okay. I think, let's see, did we hit it? I stayed this long. I don't even get my sub out of this. I'm kidding. Sub, DJ Tech Jitsu with the sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, fam. I didn't, to be fair, I didn't stay on just for a sub. I stayed on because the conversation was interesting. So, okay, so here is the thing here. We're gonna figure out who we're gonna rate out to. The question becomes, when am I coming on next? So I have the Masked Singer. I stopped doing Mondays because Mondays were too hard. So I have the Masked Singer on Saturday, Sunday, which is my wife and I's anniversary. But she's letting me do it. So there won't be anything on Monday. Hopefully I can get some YouTube videos out of this one today, because after I make all my calls, that's what's coming next. Wednesday, we should have our show on Wednesday, as we always do. That's at 12 o'clock. And then Tech Thursday, as always. Hoping that nothing comes up that takes me away. Thank you. It's so fabulous. Appreciate that. Okay. Buy her flowers. You know what? She's never been a big flower person. She says it, but then she's also like, flowers die. So, make up your mind, right? How long have we been together? Is this our 16th year? Yeah. 16th year. Yeah. Oh no, don't let that fool you. She's a shopaholic. She just doesn't care for flowers. She's like, don't buy me flowers, buy me a new purse. So I'm perpetually losing money, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's see who's on. What is it? 1 o'clock. Perfect. Let's see who's on. Should we raid scene? Let's. She is spending my partner money. All that money went to a new purse. Let's raid scene. Hopefully scene doesn't pull his whole subscriber only. Beasting went live too? We haven't rated Beasting in a while. Let's raid Beasting. Why am I not? Let's see what Beast Thing's doing. Apparently, the raid hasn't kicked in yet for Snapback, so we can raid in. Come on. Sorry, people. I'm trying to type this, and there we go. Yeah, let's send it over to him. All right. Selyang, I have no idea what this means. I've seen you post this a couple times, but I absolutely no idea have any idea what this means. So you're gonna have to rephrase the question for another day. All right. Something went wrong. All right, mods, can you do the honor? Just set the raid up. Don't push us over just yet. Just turn the raid on, please. John P. Oh, thank you. This keyboard is cheap. This is a super cheap keyboard. I bought this off of Amazon just because I hate wires. So I needed something that could move around with me, but it has the trackpad and the keyboard. The keys are nice. I'm happy. All right, let me go back to me, make sure I'm still doing this raid. There we go. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, so I will be back on, what is it today, Thursday? I won't be back Saturday because I'll be working all day. I won't be back Sunday because I'll be working all day. I might try to get in just some DJing only on Monday night. I think Monday night's going to be my thing. It was Tuesday, but I just don't know. I just don't know, unfortunately. Stupid. I know I'm stupid. So I don't know what this means. It's not that I've never done it before. I just don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I want to thank all the mods. I want to thank the usuals for hanging out today. Audio One, Mixmaster GNL, DJ Dam. I'm gonna miss some people. Liman, Philip Tan. You know, all the people who've been hanging out today. Pharaoh, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you guys as always. And I'm gonna go shoot some videos. So stay for the raid. You know what to do. Let Beast Thing know where you came from. Let's go. Not that. That.